Hello, classmates. I hope that you are all doing well. For the last module, I decided to answer the first prompt. So, in my experience as an educator, I have witnessed the term academic language being applied in schools in a way that often overlook the linguistic diversity of immersion multilingual students. Traditionally, academic language has been narrowly defined as a language of instruction used in formal education settings, often associated with the standard English or the dominant language of instruction. This reductionist view tends to dismiss the rich linguistic practices and capabilities that students bring to the classroom, particularly those from bilingual and bidialectal backgrounds. To better support emergent multilingual academic learning while acknowledging and sustaining their linguistic practices, it is essential to redefine academic language by drawing on the work of scholars who advocate for a more inclusive and holistic approach. Ophelia Garcia and Ricardo Othigai, in their article Interrogating the Language Gap of Young Bilingual and Bidialectal Students, highlight the importance of valuing and building upon students' linguistic assets. They argue for recognizing the bidialectalism and bilingualism of students as valuable resources for their academic development rather than as deficiencies. Another essential perspective comes from April Baker-Bell's article, I Can't Switch Language, but I Can't Switch My Skin. Baker-Bell emphasizes the significance of embracing students' linguistic identities and decolonizing the nation of language in the educational context. By acknowledging the intersectionality of language and culture, educators can empower emergent multilinguals to connect their language practices to their broader experiences and identities, learning to more meaningful and authentic learning experiences. One way to broaden the concept of academic language is to adopt Nelson Flores' notion of language architecture from his blog, The Educational Linguist. Language architecture recognizes the complexity of students' linguistic repertoires and how different languages and dialects interact and influence one another. By taking into account the diverse linguistic backgrounds of students, educators can design curriculum and instructional strategies that are more responsive and relevant to their academic needs. In my own professional experience, I had a group of emergent multilingual students in my class, each coming from various language backgrounds. Initially, I noticed that the academic language instruction focused on the standard English, leaving some students feeling excluded and disconnected from the learning process. However, after incorporating elements of students' home language and encouraging code switching during group discussions, I observed a positive change in their engagement and confidence. They become more willing to participate and share their unique perspective, which enriched the classroom environment. To counter reductionist notions of academic language and the deficit-oriented language gap hypothesis, educators should actively seek professional development opportunities that promote culturally responsive pedagogies. Garcia and Ortigai's work suggests that teachers should create inclusive classroom environment that validate and celebrate students' linguistic diversity. Additionally, Adair, Sanchez-Suzuki, Collegrove, and the research on the negative impact of the world gap argument emphasizes the importance of challenging such deficit-oriented approach and replacing them with asset-based practices. In conclusion, redefining academic language to support emergent multilinguals required embracing a more inclusive and culturally responsive approach. By drawing insights from scholars like Ophelia Garcia, Ricardo Othigai, April Baker-Bell, and Nelson Flores, educators can transform the classroom into a space that values and sustains students' linguistic practices and capabilities, leading to more empowering and enriching learning experience. Thank you for watching, and you will find a transcript and the references in the post.